Just a quick disclaimer. This video was not sponsored, so I can say whatever I want. MOXA provided me with switches only for testing and I will give them back after. Thanks MOXA, let's start. Hi, I'm Alex and this is Next Gen channel. Let's make industrial networks work. MOXA RKS-4028 series is an industrial-grade rack-mountable modular switch with Layer 3 features and hardware PTP support. You can have up to 28 gigabit connections per switch with 4 built-in ports and 3 modules, 8 ports each. The series is positioned for power substation automation, railway applications and factory automation. It's designed for indoor use and has IP rating of 30. As you can see, all the ports, power connections, console port and SD card slot, they are all on the same side. So switch can be installed into a cabinet in a narrow substation even without accessing from the back. And you'll be surprised how useful it could be sometimes. There is a variety of modules available, including RJ45 modules with and without PoE, SFP ports, and even built-in fiber ports with FC or ST connections. Both 100 megabit per second and 1 gigabit ports are supported. PoE supported with up to 90 watts per port and up to 300 watts of total power budget per switch. Switches have hardware PTP support, including a power substation profile. Also, switches support MOXA proprietary turbo ring and turbo chain ring redundancy protocols with less than 20 milliseconds convergence time. I'll talk about it later. Even MOXA is supported, but in a slightly restricted manner. It will not work if the remote site is a different manufacturer's switch. Switches have two power options, both with overcurrent and reverse polarity protection. Low voltage model designed from 24 to 48 volts DC current and a high voltage model designed for both 110 and 220 volts, supporting both DC and AC by the same PSU. PE models require a dedicated single 48 VDC power input. Major moment to pay attention. You have to carefully select the model you need, as capabilities of specific cases are different. There are models with and without PoE support, models with RJ44 and with SFP built-in ports, models with low voltage and models with high voltage power supply units, with and without power supply redundancy. It is as important to know what a device cannot do as what it can do, to avoid unpleasant surprises. PSUs are built-in and cannot be replaced. Switch with a dead PSU will continue to operate, but will require you to replace the whole switch to have full redundancy back. Modules are not hot swappable. Installing a new module or even replacing a dead one requires a switch to be reloaded for the module to start working. SFPs are hot swappable. There is no 10 gig modules available. The maximum number of VLANs is 256 and packet buffer size is just 1.5 megabyte. Could be a problem if you have a burst traffic. Industrial networks is a little bit of a special case. Devices should work for ages in harsh conditions. So when selecting a model, you have to pay a lot of attention to certifications to be compliant with project requirements. And RKS switches have quite an impressive list. It is certified to be used in power substations, has certifications 61850-3 and IEEE 1613. It also certified for railway, certificates 50121-4, and it even has cybersecurity certification 62443, meaning you can properly protect its management and control planes. However, it is not certified for hazardous location and doesn't have outdoor protection certifications like IP67. All the models in the series are certified for operations in a wide range of temperatures, from -40 all the way to +75 degrees Celsius. For people watching this video from US, it's from very cold to very hot. MTBF of the model I have here is 572,888 hours, divided by 24 hours a day and by 365 days a year. And we get around 65 years between failures. Not bad! Good news! RKS switches are provided with next-generation MOXA software called MX and is much better than legacy A or E series firmware. Bad news, you cannot install this new firmware on older models. The number of changes is pretty huge, so I'll focus on those I think the most significant. Loopback interfaces are supported and can be used for both remote management and OSPF router IDs. Many additional OSPF features. Multiple area types including NSSA, passive interfaces, timers tuning. Multicast was also supported in sparse mode, dense mode, source-specific multicasting, and the Bootstrap BSR protocol can be used for automatic rendezvous point election and propagation. SPAN and RSPAN are supported to mirror traffic for diagnostics. Lots of security features to comply with 62443 standard. Access to management plane protection, unicast and even multicast access lists, password complexity requirements. Also, VRRP version 3 supported with interface tracking, Cisco-style CLI, hardware-based PTP and NTP with both client and server support, industrial protocol support like Ethernet IP, Modbus TCP and Profinet. And it all goes in addition to a standard list of switch capabilities such as VLANs, trunks, MRPs, turbo chain protocol, SNMP, syslog and everything else. I ran all my tests using firmware version 5.1 and the limitations listed below are for this version. The main software limitation for this platform, it doesn't support PRP or HSR. If you need those protocols, look for MTS series. Also, loopback interfaces cannot be selected as a source for radios, SNMP traps and syslog. I really hope it is only for now and will be added at some point. Talking about the rest of the limitations, it's a little bit tricky, because we are talking about an industrial switch positioned between aggregation and access level of a network, not a corporate network core switch. But anyway, BFD is not supported, no VRFs, only OSPF and static routing are supported, no netconf, no restconf, so automatization using just a standard NetMiko, CLI and proprietary MOXA software solution. MOXA already has a roadmap of future firmware improvements. It's confirmed that MOXA compatibility limitation will be removed in future versions and BFD support will be added. I used a testing setup made of two MOXA RKS switches, two MOXA MDS switches, and a bunch of Cisco switches to check cross-compatibility. MOXA states that Turbo Ring and Turbo Chain can provide recovery time less than 20 milliseconds with a ring of up to 250 switches. But there is a catch. It's only achievable with 100 megabits inter-switch connections. With 1 gigabit connections between switches, the guaranteed recovery time is under 50 milliseconds. I tried with a small ring of 4 switches and got 4 millisecond convergence time even with 1 gigabit links. So it looks like MOXA is trying to be on the safe side and only guarantee what's realistic even in the worst case scenario. I ran multiple tests to check software features, operations and just in case compatibility between different MOXA models and Cisco switches. And everything looks good. Multicast routing is working fine, the Bootstrap protocol for selecting and propagating a rendezvous point is working fine and compatible with Cisco. Spanning tree convergence time is under 2 seconds. IGMP snooping and loop protection work as expected. The throughput test shows no drops with up to 4 simultaneous 1 gigabit per second flow through the switch. Ring coupling recovery has limitations. In general, it is blazing fast. But I tried to run this test with Cisco on the other side and had an issue. I have a turbo ring of MOXA with 2 ring coupling ports connected to a pair of Cisco switches. It recovers fast when I unplug a cable. Cisco switches see link down event, just flush MAC address tables and all good. But when I put the cable back, I got a ping drop to MOXA connected devices up to 15 seconds. I checked with people in MOXA and they confirmed that in case of ring coupling, they use a proprietary BPDU format and other vendors' equipment will not understand it. So in case you need a ring of MOXA connected to a pair of Cisco or Juniper switches, it is recommended to either use spanning tree or use turbo chain instead of turbo ring, as turbo chain sends standard TCN packets CISC understand. By the way, I had the same issue with Hirschman switches some time ago. Maybe it would be a good idea to have an option to disable ring coupling preemption, so active backup role of ring uplinks will not swap until a link goes down. I found several minor issues during tests, which I reported to MOXA to check. For example, there are no syslog messages when installing or removing an SFP. GUI widget power consumption sometimes show insane values. In non-PoE versions, this widget should not be there in the first place at all. And to be honest, I'm struggling to reproduce this issue again. Official documentation gives from 60 to 64 watts power consumption without PoE. I checked and got 20 watts for chases, 1 additional watt per module, and about 0.2 watts per RJ45 connection, 0.5 per SFP. The platform is best suited for an aggregation level switch for industrial networks in power stations or rail, edge network devices between an external network made of CISC or Juniper and an industrial domain, and it can be access switch or out-of-band network in power station and rails, especially if you need high power PoE or hardware PTB. Models are not suitable if built-in PSUs and not hot swappable modules and no PRP and HSR could be a showstopper for you. I hope it was informative for you. Share, like, subscribe. See you next time.